So the test server is here, boys. And of course, I decided to come into the test server. Usually I don't because sometimes the test server and the live server may have some minor changes in between them, so sometimes I don't really like to do the test server as a result. Starting with the Soviets and their one bolt action rifle that's coming out, the Chinese Type 88 rifle, basically the Gewehr 88 rifle, but you know, made in China and using a non-block clip. But here's the thing though, you guys remember what I said about the Type 88 rifle? So long as it doesn't have as cancerous of an iron sight as compared to the M91 Dragoon or the 1907 carbine, if it has that, then yes, this gun would definitely be dead on arrival, especially where is it on the tier. If I'm gonna be using the Type 88 rifle, I may as well use something like the M91 Dragoon, doing the exact same damage. I mean, I get in, the Type 88 is using a on-block clip, which means that the reload is a little bit faster, but let's see what the bloody iron sights look like. Fuck's sake, Dark Flow. Next up with the United States, and then 1919 A4. Dark Flow. Why? I mean, I get it. The coming update is also gonna be buffing like machine guns when you lay prone with it, so it's really not a total loss. As you can tell, I'm not really mounting right now, and I'm actually controlling the gun pretty decently well, and looks like the sprite cone isn't really too big either. But still though, the fact that you can't even like hip fire with this thing, you know, what the carry handle can be used for, is really unfortunate. And then of course, the B25 is actually coming out as well, B25 G30, and if I'll be honest, in this battle rating, like, I'm still not convinced that this is gonna be a good addition or that people are gonna be using it, because firstly, this is a rather large and chunky aircraft in battle rating 5, especially since you have planes like the P-47 that is way faster. Like, I get it, this thing carries 6 of these 250kg shells, but still though, remember that you're in the battle rating 5 where you'll be seeing really fast fighters and, of course, jets. You are basically a very giant target in the sky, if anything. And then moving on with Germany and the addition of the TE7. Guys, just play the MG13. However, for Germany, they are also adding the Ferdinand tank destroyer, which I think a lot of people actually agree with me that the vehicle should not be in battle rating 4, because coming update, they decided to change it to battle rating 5, which is a really good call on their part. Like, the Ferdinand really should not be in battle rating 4, just so you guys know. Like, keep in mind though, as I describe this thing is basically the Tiger 2 minus the third weak spot. Like, as you can see with the Tiger 2H, which is thicker, the thicker of the thickest. 185mm right here, 17 pounder, Soviet 122, the Super Pershing 90mm should be able to go through this without any issues. Meanwhile, the Ferdinand is, yeah, 200mm here, 200mm here. And yeah, sure, battle rating 4s, a lot of the vehicles will be going up to battle rating 5, but that doesn't mean that the chances of you getting battle rating 3 and 4 matches, basically a down tier in this thing, chances are low, but they are not zero, just so you guys know. But if you happen to be facing this thing in battle rating 5, not to worry. Firstly, it doesn't have a machine gun, so there's no way it can defend against infantry, and not to mention how slow this thing is. Like, normally speed isn't really an issue, but if you have something this low, this means that planes can basically hit you without you being able to get away, as well as infantry using like explosive or, you know, TNT charges. But if you're in a tank yourself, or this thing is grey zone camping, you can basically shoot the corner barrages here, 80mm, and thankfully Dark Flow isn't adding the separate compartment that separates the hull crew and the turret crew. So if you do manage to penetrate this, then yeah, you should be able to take out the turret crew as well, and not to mention if it's angled, you can always shoot the lower half of the sides. Or if you know, have a KV2 or a high explosive slinger, you can just shoot around here and then just take out the, just enter the crew space through overpressure. And just so you guys know, yes, it's only 10mm here and there is nothing else underneath it. yeah. And then moving on with Japan. Japan is getting the Cheeto OLED. And yes, as I mentioned, the upper front plate is only 75mm. And the unfortunate news is that it's not nearly as sloped as the Penta upper front plate, so it doesn't really have the same protection. Like you should be able to go through this with a 76mm or an 85mm. And not to mention, in the event that you technically for some reason couldn't really go through this thing, you can just shoot this. Only 20mm, a lot of long barrel cannons should be able to go right through this, and not to mention there's literally nothing else behind it. So yeah, in all honesty guys, just play the GV2, do yourself a favor. And of course, you know, the weapon that I am looking forward to that is coming, that I can't actually pick up right now, thanks Darkflow. You know, Darkflow, you're supposed to separate the test server from the live server, which means that in the test server I should be able to have, like, you know, everything fully grinded out in terms of the tech tree. I don't care about the quality of the weapon, but in terms of like the grind of the tech tree, it should be maxed out all the way for the test server, so that we can, you know, test the stuff in an actual match instead of the test range. Anyway, rant aside, basically it's gonna be a 6.5 like intermediate cartridge, pistol cartridge. I'm not entirely sure because the magazine looks a little small for 6.5 by 50 Arisaka, and not to mention your damage is only 7.8 points. Now, 7.8 points is definitely very good. If you two-shot an enemy, it's gonna be 15.6, and that's way above the boosted health perk. And then upgrading it will actually bump this thing up to, by my calculations, 9.4 points of damage. And then of course, like the Type 2 submachine guns, this thing has a very low vertical recoil, but it does have a very strong horizontal recoil, which is something you need to be very careful of. And here's another thing that I'm very concerned about. 840 rounds per minute, and you only have a 20 round magazine. And you guys know how much I feel about 20 round magazines, especially when it comes to assault rifles or assault guns. 2-shot damage, high rate of fire, 20 round magazine. Yeah, these three things do not mix. Yeah, as you can see, there's definitely horizontal recoil present. As you can tell, like I'm trying to maintain my aim on this gun, but you can see the gun pulling sideways. So yeah, the recoil reduction is definitely required here. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on the coming weapons on the test server. Even though I can technically just grind the new weapons, and then try it out in an actual match, the reason why I'm not going to do that is because between now and the live game, there is still quite a lot of room to change. So in the event that people saying that, oh, this gun is actually not so great, or maybe Darkflow should actually have done this instead, they can actually make the change, just so you guys know. But otherwise, that's it for the test server. I'm not going to pry more into the coming update from the test server. And as per usual, all of this is based on my opinion and what I can find and my experience with the live game. If there are things that you disagree, let me know down below and why you disagree. And if that's it, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!